In a galaxy where no one ever truly fades into the Force, death is just another plot twist. From Sith Lords who return from the grave to bounty hunters who crawl out of the jaws of doom, Star Wars has made resurrection an art form. Today we're uncovering 20 times Star Wars faked a death, and fooled an entire galaxy in the process. When Darth Vader hurled the Emperor into a reactor shaft in Return of the Jedi, audiences thought evil had finally been vanquished. The explosion of blue lightning seemed to mark the end of the Sith once and for all. But decades later, the rise of Skywalker revealed the ultimate deception. Palpatine survived through the darkest of Sith rituals, cloning his body and transferring his essence into new flesh. His broken form lingered on Exegol, suspended by machines and fueled by hatred. Some called it blasphemy, others called it prophecy fulfilled. But in Star Wars, the dark side never dies. Cut in half, thrown down a bottomless pit, and left for dead, Darth Maul's death was supposed to be permanent, but his hatred refused to fade. Years later, the Clone Wars resurrected him, crawling through the underworld with a spider's body and a shattered mind. His pain, his rage, his hunger for revenge, they kept him alive. Maul rebuilt himself from the scraps of the galaxy, becoming a warlord and a symbol of pure vengeance. His story is proof that the dark side doesn't let go. It clings to suffering. Swallowed whole by the Sarlacc, digested for 1,000 years. That was supposed to be the end of Boba Fett. But The Mandalorian revealed otherwise. The legend survived, scarred, burned, and hardened. He fought his way out of the Sarlacc's maw and was reborn among Tusken Raiders, stripped of his armor but not his pride. When he returned, he wasn't just a bounty hunter anymore. He was a man of honor, a survivor carving out a new legacy. Ahsoka's duel with Darth Vader in Star Wars Rebels was one of the saga's most haunting moments. The door closed, the temple collapsed, and her fate was sealed. Or so we thought. Years later, Ezra Bridger reached into the mysterious world between worlds, pulling her through time itself to save her life. Ahsoka didn't just cheat death, she transcended it. Her survival blurred the lines between the living Force and the infinite. Luke Skywalker's final stand in The Last Jedi was a masterpiece of deception. He wasn't really there, just a Force projection across the galaxy, buying the Resistance time. When his body vanished, many thought we'd seen his end. But Luke's story continued. A younger Luke reappeared in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, digitally de-aged yet spiritually reborn. Legends never die. They just become one with the Force. To the galaxy, Obi Wan Kenobi was dead, another casualty of the Jedi Purge. But on Tatooine, he lived on as Ben, watching Luke grow from afar. His exile was his resurrection, a ghost of the old Republic, hidden in plain sight. And when the Force called him again in his Disney Plus series, it wasn't about survival, it was about redemption. Star Wars played with our hearts in The Rise of Skywalker. C-3PO's memory wipe felt final, the end of an era. But R2-D2 restored him just moments later. Blue hololight fills the cockpit. C-3PO reawakens. A brief death, maybe, but a powerful one. It reminded us that even droids can break our hearts. Rey's power spirals out of control, and the transport explodes in a burst of lightning. Chewbacca was gone, or so it seemed. Moments later, another transport appears, and Chewie's revealed alive. Fans were divided, some relieved, others annoyed. But in-universe, that moment shattered Rey's confidence and showed how close she was to the darkness. Shot in the gut and abandoned under twin moons, Fennec's death looked absolute. But when the Mandalorian saw a cloaked figure approach her body, we knew something was coming. Boba Fett saved her life, replacing her damaged organs with cybernetics. She was reborn, half human, half machine, and twice as dangerous. Through a skyscraper window, electrocuted mid-air, it looked fatal. But Samuel L. Jackson insists Mace lived. And honestly, would you doubt him? Jedi Masters have fallen from worse. Somewhere out there, Mace Windu might still be waiting, watching, ready to strike again. In Obi Wan Kenobi, the Grand Inquisitor's death shocked fans, because canon said he lived years longer. The twist? He faked his own death to manipulate Reva. When he returned alive and smug, his line said it all. Revenge does wonders for the will to live. Obi-Wan believed Anakin was dead, consumed by fire and hate. But the dark side rebuilt him, limb by limb, into Darth Vader. Years later, when Vader sacrificed himself to save Luke, Anakin returned. 2 deaths. 2 rebirths. It's the ultimate Star Wars theme. Death is never the end, it's just another transformation. Echo was believed dead after a fiery explosion, just another casualty of war. But years later, Captain Rex discovered him alive, wired into a machine, his body fused with cybernetics. Saved but not whole, Echo's story became a symbol of the clone's sacrifice and the cost of survival. Cad Bane's blaster hit the sheriff square in the chest. Freetown mourned their hero. But Star Wars loves a post-credits twist, and sure enough, Cobb was floating in a Bacta tank, alive and soon to be modified. Once a Sith assassin, Ventress died saving the man she loved, Quinlan Vos. But the Night Sisters have a habit of reviving their dead. Hints in The Bad Batch suggest her return. Resurrected through dark magic, killed, mind-wiped, reborn, and killed again. Revan's life was a cycle of resurrection. In the Old Republic MMO, his essence splits in 2. 1 light, 1 dark. Revan's fake deaths defined him, a man caught between the living force and his own legend. After Order 66, the Empire thought all Jedi were dead. Cal Kestis faked his death, hid his lightsaber. When he reignited that blade, he proved that sometimes survival itself is rebellion. After Ezra vanished with Thrawn, Sabine searched the unknown regions and vanished herself. Rumors spread that she'd died in her quest. Years later, Ahsoka revealed the truth. She was alive, still stubborn, still fierce, and still loyal. Han thought she was lost. The audience assumed the same, but Kira survived, rose through the ranks, and became the leader of Crimson Dawn. Her story continued in comics, showing a survivor who learned that power, not love, was her only protection. Phasma was thrown into a trash compactor, then a fiery pit. Both times she came back. Her armor was built from a Naboo starfighter, nearly indestructible. So even when she fell in The Last Jedi, fans refused to believe it. If anyone could crawl out of the ashes again, it's Phasma. In the galaxy far, far away, death is never the end. The Force binds everything. Life, death, even the stories we thought were finished. And that's what keeps Star Wars alive. Not just the battles, not just the heroes, but the belief that no one's ever truly gone. Mentor silhouettes fade like auroras into a starfield. A serene pullback reveals the title among distant stars.